this workshop
Have you seen it?
meeting to order. We got proper confirmation?
Yes, posted according to statutory requirements last week.
Okay, we got roll call?
Don't need it today.
Yeah, well, we don't need it
Oh, they're
today.
here.
We got Roger, we got George, Monica, and all of us. Welcome back, Deb. Nice to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Roll call we don't need. President's comments. Don't have anything right now. Review of the minutes. Do we need that?
That'll all come.
That'll all come in the
The
meeting?
packet
Okay.
Friday.
Financial matters.
Yeah,
Treasurer's report.
that'll all come Friday
That'll all
too.
come Friday. We'll just move right on through this.
I love this meeting.
Accounts receivable. That'll all come.
Yep,
Units with legal problems.
yep.
Nothing. Old business. Second floor entry slab renovations.
We're finally gonna start redoing the, renovating. We have 6 to do in Lakeside. They're gonna start Wednesday or Thursday.
Ah, good, very good.
So we got a confirmation
All
again.
right, start. So he's got 6 of them?
6 or 7, I've got the numbers at the packet.
In Lakeside?
Lakeside, yeah. The 530s, 534, 5, and so on.
All right, upper unit flooring issues.
I'm so glad we're done. I would like a translation of what the lawyer said.
Okay. The lawyer basically said,
I had them both on the phone.
yeah, Steve and I talked to him, that the board, the way the current documents are written, the board must allow vinyl flooring in upper units.
But we need to set the standards, is what he
But-
said.
Yeah, what he said was we can make a rule for the standard. We can't prohibit it. You don't even have the right to approve it. It's in there. They get it automatically. But we have the right to stipulate, and I have set something up, no pride intended in.
A
it-
quick question there.
Yeah.
Our rules and regulations, as I understood them, talked about the entryway, the bathrooms, and the
Doesn't matter, he said anywhere.
But did our rules say that? I think they even called.
Yeah, our rules say that,
Oh,
yeah, but he said that we could put vinyl in, Dixie, to get you.
Just one more.
Like I said, we can modify this, but the way I anticipated with the number of people that are ready to go with this stuff, once we announce at the meeting on Monday that they're allowed, we should have something to enact to make sure that what we want is adhered with.
I think the biggest issue that I've seen us having here is having no standard of which we can gauge any type of material because of the fact that the floors themselves have nothing to do with the standards that are in place for the manufacturers of these flooring places. We don't have 6 inches of concrete, we don't have this, we don't have that. So in order to have a constant, we should have something that measures against what we have, not what the floor manufacturer calls out as their standard. And I think that's where our problem is. How can we put a standard together when we can't use the, variance 1, 2, 3 from hopscotch floor because theirs calls out a much deeper cement and a much deeper airspace.
I went over that with him, same exact format you just did, and he literally said we cannot prevent it, but we can set a standard for it,
How do we
Okay,
do it?
right here.
Is
Okay.
there,
however, when you look at his answers, on question number 1, okay, on our declaration, he quoted saying, yes, you can put laminates, but only in the hallway, kitchen, bathroom, and porch. And then, second question, he said, the STC rating for the underlayment is for itself. And what we're looking at is the airspace tolerance. So it's apples and oranges, like, you know, like you're saying. However, when you look, he didn't answer number 3. However, when you look at question 4, it's the rights of the upper and lower units in this matter are as provided by the declarations. In other words, everybody who signed the declaration when they bought in here said that they would agree hallway, kitchen, bathroom, and porch. Okay? Now, the key factor here is the hallway, kitchen, bathroom, and porch. So the only thing that you can really do when you're looking at that is, all right, yeah, you can do this. You can do all of it. However, it should go to the people for a vote. It should not be up to us. It should be the people's vote. And using the vapor barrier, the sound guard, etc., the luxury laminated flooring with the cork backing and everything, knowing that there is an increase in annoyance, noise, in daily routines such as moving a chair, playing with a pet, vacuuming, and any of the other testing that we did, should hard surfaces be approved? And that should be a yes or no, and that should go to the people for a vote. Then, once you have a yes, yeah, you can put it down. Once you have a no, they can't come back to the board because it's already been discussed by the people and determined that most of the people don't want it or most of the people do want it. And it's out of our hands.
I feel that, well, that makes a lot of sense. I think the biggest problem I see here is that we have a situation which is standardized right now, and each and every one of us on high, or the top one or the bottom one, signed a declaration that said these floor coverings can only be used in bathrooms, kitchen, and entry hall. And that's what we determined. Now, the question you ask him is, can we change these? Or is it lawful to use them? Well, it isn't based on anything. We have no apple-to-apple comparison. So, yeah, I think we have to go to the people for a vote. But only those that are affected, and that's the ones that have an upper unit over the top. For us to ask the majority of the units that are in villas, should we do that?
Can't do
is not
it.
fair.
Change bylaws, you gotta check
Bylaws,
everybody.
yeah. So,
Period.
can I?
Well, then how do we do it with people that matter? Because it doesn't matter to a villa person.
Okay, that's where it comes in as making note in the question to them that there is an increase, because we've already made a note that there is an increase in annoyance noise, such as moving a chair, playing with a pet,
Yes.
and vacuuming. So it's put out there. Do you realize that there is a greater increase in noise with this if you let flooring in all through your house, be a hard surface? Then when they complain, you know, it's like, wait a second. Then it goes between the owners as to what they want to do to fix it. Do you want to put quiet stuff on your ceiling? Do you want to do other things to make it quiet? But then it would be up to the people.
In one of our notations in the rule 7-something, it says the only thing the board can do in changing a rule is to make it as good as or better than what it was before. And we've already determined that it is not better, and it sure isn't as good as. So I think that it's gonna have to go, but to a vote to change this, because we've got this, you know, when I look at it, people think about, well, the floor, who cares? Well, how about if I said no more front doors? Everybody says, well, wait a minute, I bought my place with a front door, I want a front door. Well, we don't want front doors anymore. Well, those people that have to have one now have really been harmed. Those people that wanted one are very upset because they paid for a front door. And that's what's happening, the people with the noise upstairs. I don't want any more noise than this. And we absolutely guarantee them we are going to give them more noise. And what for? Not structural, nothing more than somebody's idea of some type of decorative process. And that would be like me saying that I want a brass band in my room too. You know, the bottom line is we cannot do that without having some type of an agreement. And that at the beginning, the first day I bought the place, it was with the assumption I'd have no more noise than what's above me at that time.
So, I don't have the declaration in front of me, so now I forget what it says, but I thought our declaration said that we're allowing vinyl flooring in just certain parts of the upstairs. So why are we, in the proposed change, saying we're allowing vinyl throughout the entire unit? Like, I thought we didn't wanna change that part, we're gonna allow it in certain areas, but we're gonna,
The whole question, first of all, the whole question was all throughout the unit. It was never, the vinyl quest by everybody is for throughout the unit. So, I mean, they already knew where they could put it. And the question to the attorney was, can we prohibit it? And he said, not the way the documents are written. So this wouldn't be the first time a board would go against its attorney's opinion, if you so vote. But he is, when Steve and I talked to him, there was no doubt in his mind that we would be open to potential challenges if we prohibit the vinyl type.
From both sides. And it would be the board too, not between the owners.
Maybe he misunderstood the,
That's what I thought.
Well, when
And
when I read
tried
his
to-
answers, I didn't think he knew what the question was.
That's why
I
we
agree.
called, and
I
I
agree.
went further into it. I
Because-
said, because we cannot achieve those sounds,
the sound level.
the sound levels,
Yeah.
and he just,
I think when we come back to that 7 dash whatever it is, it says we can change it if it doesn't change anything or it makes it better. That right there in itself says that nothing can change from what we signed the day we walked in the door, unless it makes it the same or better. And we definitely know it's not gonna be better. And sure isn't gonna be the same. I think that precludes anything and everything else that's in there.
yeah,
Well, I listen to this, I hear two issues, okay? Number one, we're talking about vinyl, and this conversation is totally different than vinyl. I think we are restricted, and we're gonna have to follow the attorney's attitude and advice because we're talking about vinyl. I don't see as we have a real option there,
Yeah.
whether we like it or
That's what he
not.
was saying.
The second thing is, if we're talking about something different, then we have to have a document change. I don't see sending it out for a vote with the conditions that exist because we don't even know what they are. So if, what we have to be looking at is long-term document change. So what I'm saying is two things. Number one, you have to separate what you were saying, Pam, because that's a whole different area. And what he's talking about is vinyl. And I think we're in a position where if the decision is that they want vinyl, our decision is to put some restrictions of what that vinyl is going to be for protection.
basically what he said.
That's the way I happen to see it right now. And if we're not happy with the current situation, then we need to investigate the documents to make changes in the documents over time. But I think we need to take action now. I don't think we can delay it another 4, 6, or 8 months. It doesn't make any
Is
sense.
my problem because I'm thinking wood, not vinyl?
I don't think so, because
This
the
is-
laminate we listened to, or whatever it was upstairs, is where we got that
We
that
listened to
increase
vinyl
in.
only.
We listened to vinyl.
So is that the key word that he's
Yeah.
counting
Vinyl.
off
It
of
can't-
vinyl
it
versus
cannot
wood?
be any-
Vinyl's not in there,
It
so we
can't be
can't.
laminate, it can't be wood, it can't be bamboo, it can't be, it can only be vinyl, so he says.
Well, this says linoleum.
Well,
Which is not
yeah,
vinyl.
that says it, but what, his opinion was, yeah, they could put linoleum all throughout the unit.
Yeah.
Steve? So we clearly asked the lawyer, our current declaration says vinyl is allowed in only these certain areas, and he
It
turned around.
doesn't say vinyl, it says laminate.
All right, laminate.
And
Whatever the
laminate's
word- whatever the
different than
word
vinyl.
is. Okay, but, well,
See, there is
laminate
no
versus,
stipulation on
laminate is not
vinyl in
There's
our
no
vinyl.
stipulation on
That's
vinyl.
why he said you can put in, but you can put stipulations on,
When the document was written, they didn't say vinyl
Because
and
there wasn't
laminate,
vinyl.
they just said laminate. And that's why the attorney is saying, because of the way it's written, you can't prohibit vinyl.
Vinyl, oh, that's the issue.
That's the issue.
Okay, I thought it
Well,
was.
see, you can't
We said, we
prohibit
already
it,
said we
but
can
you
only
can-
install it in these areas, and he's saying, no,
You
you
can
can
put
install it
rules
everywhere.
on
Okay,
how.
gotcha.
So am I right then assuming that wood cannot and is not even a part of this package whatsoever?
None whatsoever, that's right.
Okay.
It's-
All right, well, that makes a little more sense than what we had before.
And no laminate.
No laminate.
No laminate. But you
Well, that's
can
what
put
everybody
vinyl.
wants to put in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they
No,
all
they
want
all want
They
vinyl.
want the luxury vinyl.
It's luxury vinyl,
Isn't
and it's,
considered laminate.
that's why we wrote the stipulations from the building committee that talk about only putting sound guard in and vinyl flooring with rubber backing, so you get a double protection plus the polyurethane layer.
Vapor barrier.
But I think we still come back to that major stipulation in 7 dash whatever that says that it will be as good as or better, and we know for a fact that it won't make as good as, and we know it makes it worse. So
Yeah.
that in itself, I think, precludes anything that we put down different
what
than
if-
what's there.
What if 5 years from now, there's a new material? It's not laminate, it's not vinyl.
Well, this is a rule, this isn't a declaration, so you could change it, it's better. You could, in other words, you'd have to review it, but it wouldn't, if a new material
Okay.
came, it wouldn't be prohibited necessarily in the document, but we could stipulate that.
Stipulate
because
how it goes down.
So we're not proposing to change the declaration, we're just adding a rule.
This is just a rule,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
which, like I said, is coming to you hot and heavy, but since we got that ruling, we had to look at some kind of stipulation, and this is the best we've come up with so far from the building committee.
So what about laminate now? What our declaration
Laminate is
currently says.
prohibited. Laminate is prohibited
Because the way
except
the
for the
documents are
living
written.
room,
Except for
except
those
for
certain
the
areas.
kitchen, yeah, certain
Okay,
areas.
and there's no criteria, requirements as far as what needs to be under that laminate for those certain areas?
Yeah, stipulation, yes, again, it must be 70 or more.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
per the current declaration,
Yeah.
along with the carpet, that's the carpet
Well,
criteria
of course,
too,
carpet,
right?
yeah, carpet has no, carpet period the end.
Okay, so we're not proposing to change that?
But didn't you decide that you can't even make those
Correct.
grades?
No, well,
we
yeah,
don't
we
currently
can't,
meet
and so it's, it's impossible.
Is this information consistent with the material? I mean, I don't see any numbers. We had,
Yeah,
if this is approved, or,
yeah. We
Is
could
it
add to
consistent with the-
Like I said, I just wrote it, so,
Okay.
yes, and I
Yeah,
take
I think there
suggestions,
was
changes up to
I
70.
just, that when we had other discussions,
add
it was,
numbers.
it
There was a number that
stated
went
specific
with-
materials.
Yeah,
for
I
the
wanna add
There's a
other
number on, the STC, I mean,
The
the
sound
sound
guard.
guard has a number, we can include that on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you wanna add numbers.
You know, I think, now, I hate the thought of passing this down the line, but for us as a board, I think this is something that has to go back to the building committee, and from them, the exact specific thing that can be done, and what it looks like, smells like, or whatever, based on the rules that are in place. It can't be any worse, and it's gotta be better, or not at all. And then come back to the board for a vote. For us to discuss this, there are too many loose ends. There are not even one apple-to-apple comparison yet, except that something else is going in that area. Whether it's called vinyl or whatever, it's a non-rug type of sound barrier that will be there. And I can't imagine how we can vote on that until we have something to vote on. We're just saying, okay, anything
No,
that's vinyl.
we're not saying
can be done.
anything, we got it right here.
Well, what's it say? Do you
Can
see
you read?
something? I can read this, but I
All right.
don't see anything that tells me what unit or what I can put in its place. Anyway, vinyl tile? Doesn't tell me
It has
anything.
the rubber backing, it has the poly vapor barrier.
That's
That's the
generic
sound guard.
terms, every one of them. Not one that
Do we have
specifies
the numbers on
any
that?
type of number.
Sound
that
guard
has
is
to come up.
specific, John.
Yeah, but to what? To their,
No, to
program
this-
or 6-inch, cement and, 6 inches of air?
It has nothing to do with the cement.
And the noise things that we've done does not make it the same or better. And that, we know that it changes things. So my point is that for us to be discussing this, what we're discussing is, can we have something other than carpet in that area? And based on the rules or declarations that we have, unless it's the same as or better, we can't. That blocks everything and anything else. Now, we know we can't do
Are
anything,
you talking about the number 70?
doesn't
Because that's
matter.
what's in our declaration currently.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because we can't meet that standard ever, because of these.
So what's your proposal?
That's
I mean,
all
I hear
right. That's
all
all
your
right.
arguments, but what's your
Yeah.
The
proposal? If you have-
proposal is, until we can come up with something that is the same as or better in regards to the sound the lower unit will hear, there is no point. It stays as it is today.
So you're saying if this vinyl flooring proposal is not 70 or better,
Yes, or no,
No,
as
we
it
can't do
is
that,
based on
because
standing
the bylaws
underneath.
say vinyl, I mean laminate.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
So-
Right,
bottom
so we're
line
back to what the
70.
lawyer told, but you gotta listen to what he's saying,
But-
when the lawyer said, we have to allow vinyl. But we don't want to,
We don't have
burden the
to.
downstairs people even more because
Vinyl
of that,
has
so
not
we gotta
been
set up some
specified,
rules.
but we don't have to allow it because the rule says it will be the same as or better. And right now, we know we can't meet even the same as, much less better. And we have no standards at all in which we can ever meet same as, because there is no standards written around our units.
Tiffany.
So if we can't get the vinyl same as or better, what if we add it into the bylaws and have it say laminate, vinyl, hardwoods, whatever it says, and just add it into the list of prohibited materials for bedrooms and living rooms, you know, the lanai, hallway, kitchen,
You
bedroom.
would have to amend your document.
Documents.
Right, but wouldn't that just be easier?
That goes to people.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I don't know how you argue with the lawyer, but
Well, I'm not sure he answered our question, and that was the
Well,
concern I
I
had.
challenged him and he said you just can't, period. You're gonna open yourself up to a lawsuit.
Well, both sides though, and that's the part that makes me,
And
as
that's
a
just
lower
gonna cost
unit,
us more money.
yeah, as a lower
another
unit
assessment.
program, I'm saying to you, you just ruined my whole house. It's like you took the front door off. And I had a front door when I came in here, I signed up for a front door, and the person above me signed up for a front door, but you're saying now, because somebody doesn't want a front door, I can't have a front door.
Not at all.
Oh, sure,
I
it's
don't
the same.
understand that
Well,
analogy.
the analogy is it hurts everybody, but when you come into a lower unit and you get what's going on above you, then you've lost what you bought when you came in here. That's my point.
Well, I think what you do is you've got this before you and you have to make a decision which way with a motion to accept the attorney's ruling and go forward, or to continue back to the building committee, either or, but that's the motion that you'll probably have to entertain at this meeting to get off dead center.
I have one further question on this. Did you ask him about rule 7 dash whatever it
Yeah.
is in our declaration,
Oh.
same as or better?
Yes.
And
Well,
what did he say?
He has it in front of him. He wrote the document. He wrote the document for the board in 2011. He's very familiar with this
If
document.
I were going
And
to
he still
sue,
came
or
back with, we can't prohibit vinyl.
if I were going to sue, or I were a lawyer, that's the first thing I'd hang on. It's right here, why look any further?
I'm not arguing with you.
I know you
Yeah,
aren't, but,
yeah.
no, I'm not
Yeah,
arguing with
no,
you,
no,
I'm saying,
no.
I don't understand how we can even talk about it when we have that in there. It seems to me it would preclude anything else, and then if we go past that, we go to supposedly some standard that we're going to meet, which we cannot define. But we do know that's not the same as or better.
Might I suggest, that maybe, you call the lawyer back, maybe John West comes in and sits with you and talks to him, like I did?
Oh, I think that'd be an excellent idea.
Or,
How don't we call him right now?
wait,
Yeah.
we know what his feelings are. That's his interpretation. What happens if we went to a second opinion, like a doctor? You know, but go to a second opinion, find a
lawyer.
different attorney and see what they say. If
Oh.
they say the exact same thing, okay.
If they say that same thing, okay. I mean, it has to
But
be
we-
okay.
But we need clarity from our own
Yes.
lawyer first. We
Right.
need to
Yeah,
know what's
I
the
think
exact
it-
question to go for
you
the
know,
second opinion.
Be less costly for us to call our lawyer and
I
have you,
understand.
have you
True.
challenge him and see what he says to you.
Well,
And then if you're not happy, then we'll
But you
we'll
did
think about another
challenge
one.
him, but you did challenge him.
I did challenge
You
him. John was sitting
clarified,
right there.
you clarified those questions
Yeah.
right there, and that's what he said. But it seems that we still are having a conundrum on this thing, so do we need a second opinion? I know it's gonna cost, but if we went to a second opinion, then we can say, no, he did say the same thing, the interpretation is the same with two different lawyers, so this is what we're doing.
Well, it'll also give us a stronger case if we are sued in the future because we decided to do this. At the present time, I tell you, I'd see a very good lawsuit on my part as a lower unit claim saying things have changed. And it wasn't what I wanted, and I signed an agreement just like the person above and the board put in my face as the rules and regulations. Now I am lost, like they took my front door off.
Well, I think your idea is excellent, if you're willing to sit down with them and talk
Let's
to the lawyer.
talk to them, yeah. I mean,
And I don't think this whole group should sit here and talk to the lawyer,
Yeah,
I think
I
it
think
should
that's
be
true.
a limited number of people, so.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna pick up with saying that.
Yeah.
I think that Steve's comment is probably the most appropriate. We've got a lawyer, we've had, his representation has always been accurate. If the concern was the right question asked, I would encourage what you said. If John has a strong feeling or anyone else, no more than one or two people, have that conversation with the lawyer. But I think it should be soon, I don't think it should be delayed.
I
It
think
should
so.
be the next 2 or 3 days, so we can deal with this one way or the other on Monday.
Right, I agree.
Just an opinion that, I mean, it's gotta come to an,
I
and our
can't
lawyer
be
has
the only
always
one
been
feeling
accurate,
this way.
so
I just
if he
cannot.
can answer John's
I cannot,
question,
but-
You're not.
But you're the
then
one
we-
that's
then
making
we
the
can
good
move
arguments,
forward.
so you do it.
and I might add, it doesn't make any difference what decision we make, they're gonna have people unhappy. And I think we have to bend to a certain degree to what the lawyer recommends to us after this conversation. If you're willing to get in that conversation, which I assume you are, that would be my recommendation too. Just move forward somehow.
Tiffany.
So I know I'm the newest member to the board, so you guys can give me your feedback, what you think, but I'm thinking that it seems very democratic to put it to the owners. If, like Barbara mentioned, in time new floorings become available where we have the same issue, they're not soft, they're not hard, they're kind of, but they don't meet our standards, we're gonna have to find a way to deal with them. Do we bend every time, or do we add it to the rules and be able to add in different kinds of floorings as they're invented? Since vinyl is new, I don't see any problem with adding it in with the laminate, you know, the grouping of types of flooring. Just a thought, you know, as more come up, we might have to add more in.
Or maybe
As a prohibition, say.
maybe a
Right,
phrase.
well, not as a prohibition, but to comply with the area rules that like only kitchens, hallways, bathrooms, lanais, yeah. So it wouldn't be a new prohibition, it would just be, you know, standard with what we have.
Or maybe a phrase could be put in as technology, you know, as
Oh, I think
technology.
that's just opening
That's
a
opening
big
Pandora's
can of
box.
worms.
But you know, the thing that stops us from going forward is a standard. If we had a standard that said this, whatever it is, we can stand under it with my ear and not hear anything, or if the needle doesn't go to this, then we have someplace to go. Right now, we open a door that has no way of us having any means of controlling it to a standard. It's somebody's ears. I do not want it. Our standard was set in place when we moved in and we signed the line on the agreement.
And that was for laminate.
And that was for laminates, that was for anything
No, it doesn't say
outside
that's a
of the
laminate.
square that says the same as or better. That's what I saw in the rules. And we cannot come to same as,
Bring that rule and
it's there, it's written up, 7 days.
meet with John, or get you with the lawyer and let's see what he says. I think we need to go with, you know,
Go ahead.
with what he says. But if we can do that in the next couple days.
We can try after the meeting if you want.
I
I
don't have
mean,
my book.
we caught him right away. Well, I'll have everything you
John's
need.
got the books.
I don't need it, I mean, he's
You
written
know,
it.
it should have
Yeah,
it.
but I've got everything
Bring it
you
up
need.
to the lawyer, you need to have that exact wording.
Well, let me just say this, I just have these questions, if they're answered for me, I will feel good, but I cannot see how we can change something as obvious as this. I mean, it's like the front door, and that sounds kind of ridiculous, I know that you don't wanna look at that, but if I came in here and said, no more front doors, everybody'd say, well, they can't be, it's a safety hazard, I don't want the wind blowing and all these other things. Well, that's what I hear upstairs too. So I had a front door when I came in, I wanna keep it today.
Okay,
Done.
very good. Let's do that and then we'll see what happens with that and we can still
It's on the
just bring
agenda
it
and
up.
see where you go.
Yeah, just bring it up at the meeting, we either vote it in or vote it out or whatever. But I think it does need to remain on the meeting and whatever numbers we have on that heavy duty, because I think there was a number, 2.0 or,
Yeah, I've got everything.
yeah, that to be exact.
Well, here's the specs right here. What we proposed.
But those numbers are based on the 6-inch slab, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're past that discussion, so no sense going further.
Okay,
Okay, onward.
onward. $269 wall issue.
Okay, we've got some good news on the wall issue. As you recall, we were able to potentially save a lot of money by doing some in-house work. We tore the wall down and actually came down in one piece.
Wow.
We kind of drove through and put a brace behind it and backed up the tractor and
Wow.
came down. Then the biggest part, of course, was to break it up and haul it away, which took us a couple days. As a matter of fact, we had to get a jackhammer to take it apart because the top of the wall is all
Rhubarb.
rebar. So that's out of there, and the new block is being currently installed. He's there.
Wow. What wall is this?
It's so 269, the unit 269, the wall had heaved away. And
It was
so,
leaning. On
it
his
was
courtyard,
leaning
the
on-
back
on the
courtyard
courtyard.
wall.
A courtyard
A
wall.
piece of
Yeah.
it was leaning.
Yeah, and so this part was leaning, this part was good. So this part is being rebuilt. And so we're at the lower end of the money at around $4,000 versus the other.
Is the tree removed?
Pardon?
Is the
Yeah.
tree removed?
Yep, tree, he removed the
Oh,
tree.
he removed tree first, his expense, it was considerable, he was a new owner, and he didn't have anything to do with it, you know. So, we're moving along very good with that.
Very good, very good. All right, 559, termites.
Well, you talk about a slow process.
Yeah.
As you all recall, we opened up the ceiling and found out beaten the beams in the ceiling, which led to the fact that I talked with the county to see if we needed a building permit to rebuild what's necessary, and they said yes, we have to have an engineer seal and everything else. So I've been in contact with Steve, and I actually met with a design. It was recommended the gentleman would draw up plans and then take it to an engineer for approval, and then we can get our building permit. And so the gentleman drew up the plans, and now I have an engineering proposal for $1,500 so we can get a permit. So we have no other way to go
Yeah.
but to obviously pay this gentleman who drew up the plans and the engineer's seal, and Lee Rapace of Venture Builders has agreed to do work there at the same cost as he does everything else, cost materials, time and materials. So we are moving along, but it could be as many as 20 or 30 days before the building permit is issued. I will, upon your approval, go forward with the engineering at $1,500. And we don't have to vote here, but we just have to do it. So I'll go
John,
forward.
did you see, have there been any changes that would indicate that we might have these changes on any other units based on structural changes?
Well, no. What we walked with the design drawer, and he said that all we're gonna have to do is sister or marry new beams to where the old beams are, so we're not gonna have to tear out things and re-roof or anything like that. And so, and by the way, I didn't say, we've also treated everything for drywood termites now directly into the wood, so. And no other units are affected, so.
Oh, that's it, no other units.
Yeah, we looked from both sides.
We opened up the ceilings on both sides and there's no effect.
Are termites still there working?
No,
Nothing.
no, well, yeah, if they were,
The engineer would pay for them?
well, yeah, if they were, we just treated it. We've just, they've done an application of the borate treatment directly on the material. Before, they were punching it through, and hoping to hit. But when we tore out the ceiling, now he's gone directly to the wood itself that was being eaten.
So I remember from the last time we discussed it, was there, like, more investigation done to determine the extent of the spread?
Yeah, that's what I said, we opened
We
windows
opened
on
up the
both
entire
sides.
ceiling.
I thought there was maybe a neighbor that might be affected, but
We
didn't have
opened
to
up
go.
the ceilings on both neighbors.
We
Oh, on
opened,
both neighbors?
yes,
Okay,
both
gotcha.
neighbors. And the person who kept complaining was getting swarmers, not termites.
Have you,
The second unit, but anyway, we opened up his closet where there was a concern and there was nothing there.
have you been in contact with her?
Constantly.
Every day.
No offense, no offense, no offense.
Yeah, no, I talked to her every day.
over?
No, because she's been calling me.
Yeah. No,
And I'm not
I
trying
talk
to
to
be
her every
nasty,
day.
okay, because she's been calling me and just totally wigging out.
oh, yeah, she wigs out every morning.
Okay.
Well, I would too.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
yeah,
She had
one, she's not
furniture
here.
There was a time
Where
where
could she
Yeah.
live? I mean,
Where's she living now?
that's a good
I
question.
think she's with her ex-husband, I don't know, because she's there all the time anyway, so. That's my guess.
Oh,
I
I'd go
just-
back and whoever sold me that unit, I'd tell you. Oh,
Well, we just have to have compassion for her, 'cause she's been tolerating
Right,
this for a
right.
while, so.
and she threw out her old furniture, all her furniture, and she didn't need to. It wasn't in the furniture. What?
No,
Look at
it was
how
in the
old that
roofs.
damage is. She's only been there 3 years.
No, we don't know how old the damage is.
We don't know whether she
It
has
looks-
termites in the furniture or not.
It
We don't
looks
know
pretty
that.
bad to be new damage.
I mean,
There was confirmed evidence of termites in her furniture, 100%.
oh, there was?
Okay, oh, yeah, she had to get rid of it, and that probably came, whether her stuff went up, or that stuff
stuff
was
went
there
down.
before, no one knows. But her stuff was confirmed because they offered to take her furniture into a vault and treat it, and she could have it, and she decided not to do that. So,
Okay.
there's a lot of,
There's a lot.
I know, I just feel so bad
Unknown.
for her.
yeah.
I do. It's,
Okay, wind mitigation study.
All right, good news is that we don't have to buy one this year. We've got another year. The state has changed its rules
oh,
for every
good.
3 years to every 4 years. So we've just saved about $4,100 till next year. So we're gonna take that off, but I just wanted to let you know.
Can we schedule it for next year and get it over with?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that.
Was
At
that
least
a
we can budget
item?
for it now, right? Whoever, whose responsibility is to budget that, building committee or?
No, that would go under, really insurance, because it's required for the insurance, you know, for mortgages and things like that. So that's good news, we have
So
it.
it's due next year.
Yeah.
Tree trimming.
Tree trimming, we tried desperately to match the 9 to 3 and let everybody's eyes tell them whether we did or not, but I think we're pretty close.
It's an improvement,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, after the beginning, a little bit shortcut in the beginning, but we've gone through, I've gone over it again with our crew. They kind of did some overzealous trimming to the little palms and up as you come in, but they understand they're not supposed to do that anymore. We went on the market, we found no palm glue, so we can't put anything back together. Yeah. But we're trying to work within the standards. Yeah. So that's just there. Incidentally, I'm not sure if they're here today or not. There was concern about COVID for a couple of their lead people, so they weren't here yesterday. But John Brown said he was gonna call me if they didn't come today. He didn't call me, so they must be out there, but I haven't had a chance to get
They're
out
out there
yet.
somewhere. They're in,
Okay, oh, good, that's good. Okay, because we
And
still have
Oakville.
7 and 8 to do.
they're working in sevens
And-
now.
Yeah, and we have the big 3x-pool 5's gotta come out. And they've been working on, I think it was 13 carrot woods that we had to trim and 1 to take out. And so little by little, we're eliminating the carrot woods, because they cost a lot of money to trim and you can, and
2 years,
Yeah,
about
every
all you
other
can
year.
go, they just get out of control.
Yeah.
They are
Jeez.
so invasive.
Well, I'd like
Yeah.
to thank John and Tiffany for following up to, seeing that the contractor does it. I mean, these contractors have just done their same operation for so long, so sometimes it's a little tough to change, and maybe they're not always hearing things, so that was a good follow-up.
Yeah, they were definitely instructed from the
Yeah.
get-go.
Yeah.
because actually, Steve and I
we met
rode
with them
around
the
with
first
John
day.
Brown
Oh, yeah.
before, it was 2 days before they started.
Yeah, but we met with Rex the
We
first
met
day.
with Rex on Monday too.
On Monday and
He
told
cut
me.
some trees for us and we said, yeah,
But
that'll work.
didn't you tell me it depended on which team it was? The one team that was
Well,
at this end
he
was
had
different
2
than this
teams
team? Yeah.
and so we had to get with, what's Pedro, was it, no,
No,
Hugo,
it was
Hugo.
No,
This Hugo, yeah.
was it Hugo? Yeah,
Hugo, the second guy, was cutting them a little short and then we met with him and everything worked out.
Okay, good.
That's great, thank you.
Thank everybody.
New business, communications.
There may or may not be any, I'll have to check the file.
Okay.
Definitely.
Alright, seal coat on the cluster parking drive areas,
All-
everything except for the boulevard.
The reserve schedule calls for the seal coating this year of all the parking areas now that they've finished with the installation of the drains.
Right.
And, they were, and so to make it uniform, the proposal would be to do everything but the road.
Right.
Everything but Wildwood Springs Boulevard. So all the clusters would have equal protection for what went down over the past 6 years.
And they would all look the
And
same.
they would all look the same. I'm in the process, I've got the first bid that came in and it's about $95,000. We have it in the reserve budget to do. I've got 2 other proposals coming. If they're not here by Monday, we'll have to wait on it. But we probably wouldn't schedule it until early October anyway.
Speaking of parking lot, oh, I'm sorry.
Not
Did you
bad.
get your arrows done?
Yes, and they're black and they're so beautiful.
I've heard black is beautiful. I heard that somewhere.
Is there any way that as they seal coat, they can take care of certain
No.
dips?
It has nothing to do with it. Seal coating is just like painting a wall.
You don't have that half
Are
inch
we-
seal coating.
Yeah.
Are we comfortable we've got all the issues taken care of? Because I'm seeing some big puddles over there on Oakview, the other Oakview,
Yeah,
3700.
we're not gonna be doing any sealing. Whatever's there has been either settled after it's been done. The county standard is 24 hours for puddle.
Oh, okay,
So-
because they're gone in 24
Yeah,
hours, fine.
yeah, so that's kind of what we have to
Yeah,
live
there's
with.
one drain that we have pumped out.
Yeah.
Just takes time for the water to drain, go down the drain,
Yeah.
and pump it out, so, but literally within a couple hours, that one is gone.
One of my constituents.
You're right, no, I know, over in the corner. I know where Curtis, Meeks, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty small, but still, yeah.
John, question, you said we got a bid for 95, what's in our reserve? What do we have reserved?
We brought in 129
Oh,
this
so we have-
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there'll be enough and a
Okay.
carryover. And you'll get the reserve sheet, I've done it before the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll have that coming to you. And also, all three contractors looked at Wildwood Springs Boulevard, which we had in our schedule to repave next year, and said we could get 2, maybe 3 years out of it, so that would help our reserves for other things, and therefore, we're gonna change the schedule for the boulevard until the year after next.
Would you seal coat them then instead?
No, which,
The
not the
boulevard?
boulevard.
No, not this year, but would you, instead of replacing the boulevard, would you turn around and seal coat it then?
It would be, cause
Wouldn't be cost effective?
no, it wouldn't be cost effective, because the year after next, we're gonna repave it,
Okay.
you know, so, yeah, it's gonna look like a white ribbon down the rest of it, but,
Okay.
for the amount of money it costs to seal coat it, to cover it up and scarify, actually, when we replace it, they'll scarify the whole thing, take it out,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
And that's gonna happen when in 24?
24.
Alright.
Also, what we're trying to do to find a little bit more money for reserves, that, one thing that I've added to, the budget committee hasn't seen it yet, but Steve and I have been talking about it, is the lakes. We have no money in our budget, in our reserves, to take care of the lakes. Our lakes are building up, some of them are, almost less than half of the depth they used to be because of the wash in and everything else. So we're worried about lake banks, erosion, and probably dredging will have to come, so.
And that's very expensive,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
So I've got about $15,000 proposed to put in this year, so it'll help by moving the road back a year. So, and we'll look at it as a committee.
Well, for some of the lake, don't we have to coordinate with other associations?
No,
No, all of ours are.
no, this is all, we
Oh,
wouldn't,
okay, all in the
we
same-
wouldn't do anything in the big lake.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, every time we get a really big rain or 2 or 3 rain nights in a row, it's up on the tennis courts.
Yeah. Over on
Yeah, like
Cortez
that
entrance.
lake.
When the hurricane came,
particularly,
it was,
yeah.
the 2 bottom ones were totally this deep in water.
Going back to communications, the email that was circulated about Misty Servia, reaching back out to the town, the county. Oh, so we're still having a problem with the homeless
They're
back there?
back.
They're back. They were
They're back.
gone for about a month. Yeah. I sent a comment.
Yes, that's what I was
Yeah.
asking there.
John, do we know who owns the pond on the boulevard as you're going up toward Cortez?
Which one?
The pond that's on the right as you're
On the
going.
right.
Spring Lake.
That's Spring Lake.
That's Spring Lakes,
Spring Lakes.
or the,
That,
yeah.
The
there's
industrial
one
park
that
too.
that borders the tennis court.
courts.
Yeah.
But then there's another one there, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's not, anything on the right going north, past, our little hedgerow here is all theirs.
So that one of theirs is not part of the development, well, okay. 'Cause they
It
got
is a spillway for us, because ours,
Yeah,
it goes underneath and goes to them.
yeah, okay.
But it's all been, they redid their swale a while ago, and it flows very well out of there. Because that water behind the A cluster comes up about 12, 15 feet in this time of year. It's much higher back
That's
there.
what I was concerned about, is that, you know, being here 20 years, as many of us have, it's obvious that pond is always full. You never see that concrete embankment. Is there anyone I could call? I mean, it's county, it's Spring Lakes, it's not county.
Oh, you mean on the other side?
Um,
Maybe I'm not understanding where you're saying.
Okay.
Either us or them,
As you
it's
go
not
out, as
county
you go
anyway.
out the boulevard toward Cortez,
Yeah,
you've got the tennis courts.
right.
Right after that, there's a pond, I hope.
With the
That's the one I'm.
That's either the part of the business development or Spring Lakes. But Spring Lakes owns the tennis court, So I would
And they
presume
own
it's there.
the upper pond, I'm not sure about the lower
The
pond.
lower pond.
Could be
But,
part of that.
Well,
Industrial
I'm sure the board won't mind, but I might send a note to the commissioner. I've done this on a couple of things and have started an investigation because that, the reason we're getting backup now is that there's no give on that anymore. That pond is full all the time. So anyway, I'll make a phone
All
call.
right, well, we feed it, yeah, we feed it too, you know.
Yeah, we do,
The one on our site overflows every time we have a big,
yeah.
big
But it's getting to be.
Anyway, we're trying to put some money away because we're gonna have to do something with the
Of our own
lakes.
ponds. Well, I'll look into that other one.
Would it interest anyone if I, looked at plants that were incredibly like aqueous that would suck up a lot of water? Would anyone be interested if I put together like something like that that could help, you know, just sort of circulate that water faster?
Would they
Well,
provide food for
the
fish?
water flows, all right, let's take this as our property,
Yeah.
okay? And this would be, say, Pinehurst.
Right.
We've got lakes here, 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 and here.
Mm-hmm.
Our water goes this way and out behind, near Pool 6, for the want of a better word. And it goes under the road and it goes into the big lake that's over here. I don't think at any place we would want to stem that flow.
Oh, not that I would shut it off, just like, you know, on the
Yeah.
bank, so that when it rains real heavy and it gets up like that, it would relieve it maybe faster, but.
And I'm sure that there would be some interest to look into it.
I'm not sure we
I
could
mean,
get
right
rid of
now,
6
we're
inches of
cutting
rain.
everything down that comes in.
Yeah, no, it sure
For
wouldn't
you.
take care of all of it, but, it could help.
No, have you seen them?
I think if we had that information.
The only water flow we have is Pool 4, and nothing's gonna stop that, except, because that comes up where it rains. I mean, that comes all the way up underneath it erodes a little bit under the tennis court. So the plants won't stop that, but for aesthetically, it might be nice.
Let's think about it after we've dug them out, then we can see what we've got and then go from there.
Yeah, I think if you
Table it for a
investigate, it
while.
can't hurt. I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Seal coat discuss. Okay, the pool, automatic pool chemical feeders.
Was Jack getting lazy?
Yeah,
Well,
No,
we've
no,
been
no.
I'm
paying-
just joking.
yeah.
We've been paying, what,
Well, we have a
$8,500?
system that automatically feeds our pools and spas. So we have 14 systems, 7 for the pools and 7 for the spas. And it automatically regulates the amount of chlorine and acid that goes into pools to keep them properly balanced. That is different. I mean, they have what they call feeders that every pool has, but this is more sophisticated, and this is one of the reasons why you look at your water quality being much better than most. As a matter of fact, the pool inspector has said to me and to Jackie, I wish I could take how your pools are maintained to everywhere to see, because they have turned out, and they always pass inspection and everything of that nature. But I was looking at the bill, and I was saying, all right, that systems, 14 systems, costs us $700 a month, and you pay the bill. And then I started thinking about it, and I thought, boy, that's in maybe 3 years before me. So let's just say the 8 years, 7.5 years, 8 years I've been here, it's $8,400 a year times 8. That's well up into the 70,000 bucks. Maybe we should consider, and plus we've been having a little trouble with the vendor servicing it, and we had a couple systems down, and you know, if we're going to pay for it, we want the service. They've got everything back in order because I got on their back. But should we consider ourselves buying the existing system and maintaining it, or a new system, because we can do that? And of course, the first proposal we had was about $50,000 with a caveat that, well, if you really want it all, maybe we can do better. And do we totally have that money, no. But, you know, the longer we pay the $700, so it's just food for thought right now, more than brought out, and I'll let Tammy speak about it, but,
The payback's about 5 years.
the payback's about 5 years, and the system should last for many years. It's not a system that's gonna fall apart, you know.
And that 50,000 was new equipment or the
That's
current
brand new equipment installed, and what happens is it has these automatic feeders, then each line has a filter on it. So if you, I first did some research, and the equipment itself was $30,000, and I thought, boy, that's really good. And then
Yeah.
and then we found out that they needed the extra filters, and then you need somebody to install them. Jackie can maintain them afterwards, but he wouldn't be able to install them. So it's something to start thinking about. We can look at it. Maybe you'll put it on your plans for the budget committee to take a look at, because they'll have the three-year plan, and you might want it tomorrow, so you put it down.
No umbrellas, guys. This year it's the filter, or the
I
dispensers.
got one more thing too.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, John.
So that's, anything more than that? No, okay.
No, we're good.
I did not put down, we have one of our lawnmowers. All our lawnmowers, as you see them, but you don't necessarily see what's underneath, but underneath is what they call the mulching kit. And it's a sophisticated little piece of equipment. It's called a deck, and it holds the mulching equipment. Well, one of our lawnmowers is 9 years old, and while Jeff was going along the other day, it's kind of went, what happened? The mulching deck and everything fell down. And so we had to take a look, and what happened, it was completely rusted and fell off. To replace the deck and the mulching kit on that system, our quote is $5,200. Okay? Is it time maybe we should buy a new one? Unfortunately, the new ones are up for about $15,000–$16,000. We have some reserve for it, and the question is, should we put a $5,000 or $6,000 into a 9-year machine, or should we consider a new machine?
No. Yeah, something. Do they have any used machines that you could buy?
Probably.
Refurbished? Do we reserve replacement of that type of machine?
Yeah, we do, but we got all, the reserve's only about 10,000. So it wouldn't, we have a machinery reserve, but not.
So we'd only need to come up with 6,000.
Yeah, I mean, if we did it, and personally, I mean, those machines have a long life, and you would know that, Danny, better than anybody else. The 9-year machine probably will run. I mean, our tractor was bought used in 2003.
What's the typical life then?
That's a Kubota.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the age, but I mean, you probably run about, I'm guessing, what, 12, 15 hours a week?
Oh yeah, they run
Easy.
3 days,
3
every
days,
bit of that.
Yeah. I mean, you maintain them. I mean, the decks will rot out. That's probably why we're getting the scallops out there in the
Yeah,
ground.
that's part of it, and it gets
I was
uneven.
gonna, I didn't know.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, it gets uneven, that's.
Yeah, when I saw the
It
scallops, I
just
figured
constantly
either the
balances.
deck was going bad or
Or
they
they
weren't
needed
sharpening the
sharpened
blades
blades.
fast soon enough. so.
Well, we do that every week, we sharpen the blades every
Well,
single
What's the
week.
typical life based on that hours?
It just depends on it. You know, it's hard. You know, you're not buying it. It's not like a lawnmower you're buying at Home Depot or somebody like that. So you're buying more of a commercial. So you're gonna pay more money. My thought right now, if the motor's still good and the rest is still good, spend the money in the deck, get us out of trouble. But now you can start planning for a replacement because the other one's how old?
Well, we have 4.
The difference,
One is
that
only
deck-
2 years
That deck
old.
won't fit any of the other ones.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's zero turn, right?
About trade-in value.
Probably not
Little.
much.
Little.
Little.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
I personally would lean toward fixing it, like you said, for the 5 right now, for the reserve we have and everything else. But I wanted to get your thoughts.
Then I think we should probably plan on, you know, because of the amount of wear and tear these things get.
Oh yeah, we have a reserve for it.
I understand, but you're not gonna have enough. So if you've got 4 other machines, you sooner or later, something's gonna break on one of them.
Well, they do all the time, yeah.
Right, you know, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean,
And our
we spend
grounds
more,
aren't-
as much money maintaining the equipment as we do anything. in
Well, yeah.
Virginia.
Well,
Our grounds are not level.
No,
No,
our
you can
grounds
see
aren't
'em out
level
there.
either, no.
Scallops.
well, that's why the
Yes,
scallops, you know, the
yeah.
deck.
Anyway,
Okay.
we don't have to put that on the agenda, but we gotta, I wanna,
gotta get
we got one lawnmower we're not using, and
I
we just,
think we should get it fixed as soon as
you
possible.
get it fixed.
Well,
I'll
we
go
can
ahead,
have some
I'll go ahead
direction
and get
for
the
the
deck
budget.
ordered.
Get the deck ordered, yeah.
Thank you, that doesn't have to go on the agenda.
Okay.
Will you need any motion? I mean, if it's over 5,000, I mean, we'd like you to have the opportunity
Yeah.
to go ahead, I would think.
Yeah, I'm going ahead. I'm letting you know.
I just want you to go ahead then, so.
I get one invoice for 5 and another one for 200. No,
I got a couple of dollars I can roll.
Yeah, okay,
Garage sale,
yeah,
cookie
that's
sale.
right.
My annuity went down, but that's okay.
Managers report.
Okay, we'll have, that'll be coming
Friday
Friday.
coming Friday.
Yeah.
Committee reports, anybody? Anything?
Oh, we're kind of in between meetings.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I was gonna say.
I think the pool committee had a meeting, and the other 2 meetings will be later in the month after the meeting. Or the other 3 that we're having.
Director's comments, anybody? Dick?
I had to go to the dentist this morning, and I came back through Cortez. There, we've got some potholes on both sides of the entranceway from
Okay.
Cortez, on both
All
sides.
right.
Jarred my new filling.
You felt it tell them to give you more Novocaine next time.
Yeah. I got these lows.
You tell me he got a couple of springs in his car too.
Yeah.
Darn those CRVs.
Alright, we don't have any owners here, or, go ahead, Dick.
Just a quick question. When we resurface the road 2 years down the road, does Spring Lakes pay part of that?
Well, I'm gonna do a research, because I can't determine in the documents, but I feel that both Pinehurst, I'm sorry,
Wildwood 2.
Wildwood 2 and Spring Lakes ought to have some maintenance responsibility for this road.
And what about the businesses up there? I mean, I can't,
Yeah, but
number of
then,
people that turn in our place and they make a left to go to the,
Well, how about the people who pass through for the
Yeah,
city?
I know, right.
I mean, we have more pass through than anything else.
I
If
think
we
so.
ask
And I just
for
didn't
help-
know if, you know, Spring Lakes paid for part of the road?
Ask for what?
Yeah,
Yeah, don't forget, they
Yeah.
did their road out to 34th
Yep.
and didn't ask us for anything.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. See,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just asking a
So I
question.
don't know,
I was
but
gonna
it's
say,
gonna
I
be in
don't
the
think-
documents, and I talked to the attorney last year thinking about anticipating this. And he said we would have to go to a, not a surveyor, but anyway, I've got it in my notes.
Okay.
Then
I know we have
to
time, but
resolve
I'm
who
just-
has it, yeah. But I've thought about that, do we have full responsibility?
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Well, that's fine.
Wildwood too can say, you know, we go straight out.
Oh, yeah, and they didn't ask for a
And like I
penny.
said, Spring Lakes didn't ask us for anything, and I go out that way every
Yeah.
time
Oh,
I
yeah.
leave.
And
Well,
it's,
the only one I'm thinking about is the one by the tennis court.
Right, yeah, when you're going
'Cause
north.
They use, there you go,
Right,
100% of us.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm just planting the seed, so
Good,
to
no, it's a
speak.
good point, good point.
Alright, Director, nobody else, anybody? Anybody on the Zoom wanna say anything? It's just going like this.
They're all catatonic.
Look at all of them going.
Oh, hi, Monica, didn't see you there.
Yeah, she's here.
Steve, I had one question.
Go ahead.
I saw something in, I think it might have been the Range and Arrow, but it was talking about nitrogen and phosphorus in the local waterways. And I don't remember whether it was state regulation or just a suggestion, but they were saying that you shouldn't have any nitrogen or phosphorus fertilizer during the summer, like May to September. Did we follow that?
No, you're breaking up real bad. If you,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, Chris, I think I understood what you said, and
Fertilizer?
no, we have not seen any regulation to us about that. If you've got something, then I'd be interested in looking at it.
The plants
Okay,
need
I'll see
nitrogen.
what I can find.
Okay, I got it.
They have to have the nitrogen.
yeah.
They don't grow.
Oh, ours grows like weeds by us. I'm always putting in a ticket, come and cut the hedges. For some reason, that whole
I'm
road.
just, even grass, it's gotta have nitrogen in order to grow. But
Anything
that's
else,
what the
anybody?
process is.
Anybody else, anything? Nothing?
Nada.
We adjourn?
Oh, good.
Thank you all.
Done, thank you.
Thank